Hey, welcome to 2 Cents episode 67, everyone. This is October 9th, 2016, the very last episode. There's going to be a PSVR countdown, because it's coming out in only 3 days, folks. Come
Thursday.
Wednesday for me.
Thursday.
I'm going to be having it in my hands about 9 p.m., 9:01 p.m. Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday if I play my cards right. We'll see. But this is the live Undoctored news show we do here at Dollar Reviews. It happens once a week. If you can't count, it's been 67 weeks now. It's been going a very long time. We talk a lot of stuff, just give you an idea of what it is. Here's three little news items. Did you catch the Justice League UK rap, gag action reel that Scott Snyder...
I did not.
I keep saying Scott Snyder, Zack Snyder. Yeah, you didn't see it?
Is that it? That's it? No? I know he tweeted it, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it's 90 seconds. It's pretty kick-ass. A lot of the
Really?
footage is stuff that was already in the first trailer, but behind the scenes. But there's, this hilarious moment where Khal Drogo, the new Aquaman, is, rotating his scepter, and he drops it, and then he pulls out Wonder Woman's sword, and it's so fucking funny. It seems just in that little 90 seconds that this one is gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be, even though it's coming out in December, which is kind of weird.
November.
Is it November? It's
November 17th. It's the day I turned 27.
well, you'll be really old by that time.
Oh yeah, thank you.
But yeah, it looks so awesome. Better yet, though, we're a podcast. Amazon, they're adapting the hit Lore podcast into a TV show for Amazon Prime. It's a horror thing. Maybe I'll have to check this out. But I saw this news and was like, that kind of gives us hope. Maybe we could get picked up. We'd be like the next Fat Man on Batman. You could see our faces doing this. And
we could recommend the obscure stuff via Debt to Cinema for
right?
them. Who knows?
In front of a camera instead of in front of a mic.
Oh, absolutely.
And then by far the cooler thing this week, though, is that Turner's Filmstruck, the new streaming platform, is going to be landing October 19th. It's going to have Time Warner and MGM film libraries for only $6.99 a month. And then for $10.99, you can get that plus their Criterion content, which they're calling the Criterion Library, or you can do $99 a year. But it's going to feature cool categories such as contemporary Israeli cinema, early Kubrick. I'm sure it's just going to be Criterion, since it's Time Warner, DC stuff. But it seems like that's great for the money. Just $100 a year. Yeah, you don't get the two shippings.
Yeah, just for Warner and MGM, mm-hmm. I mean, $7 a month. Are you kidding me? I would go for that.
I mean,
I might go for that.
You'd probably go for the Criterion stuff, though.
See, it's awesome to have access to Criterion stuff, but I probably see I don't know, maybe 6 Criterion movies for the first time a year. Criterion is a thing where I have to be in a specific mood for. I love Criterion.
What about the Rock?
If I have access to it all the time,
but the Rock and Armageddon
I
and Chasing Amy and RoboCop.
Well, I own all those, so I'm cool with having that. I don't need to pay a monthly fee for that. I own those for life.
I want to see a time trial or something so I can check this out. It's going to be on Apple TV and iOS, Android right at the get-go. Probably come to Xbox real soon.
Mm-hmm. By the way, since you pointed it out, do you know if Armageddon's actually a part of that?
I highly doubt it.
Because that would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
I know that the DVD's not out of print, but if they have all those features ported over and in high def, it would be amazing.
I doubt there's going to be features, and given that Armageddon wasn't on Hulu, I doubt it's going to be on this either, but time will tell.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, but I think that's the DVD or Blu-ray version, not the Criterion one, because the Criterion one's a bit longer. That audio commentary has to be preserved beyond that DVD, though, because it is amazing.
I don't know. I'm going to take your word for it. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to miss a thing. But that's just...
Best sellout song from a band ever.
That's an overview of the kind of stuff we talk about. VR, as we talked about at the top. Video games rarely. Lots of movies. I love talking about tech. And my name is Brian Gillis. You can reach me at brian@dollarreviews.net, and that's harder spelled than it sounds. It's BRYON. You can find me at Twitter also, BRYONGILLIS. And I'm here with Steven Mominex. That's the other voice you're hearing here.
Mm-hmm. Whose last name is even more complicated to spell
definitely.
out. But you know what? Don't even try, because my Twitter is S_MTX. It's a lot easier for you if you want to reach me.
It is the season. It's October. It's Halloween. I'm eating candy corn right now. I'm just trying to get myself in the mood. I'm going to start that off. It's going to be a big hit for the costume people this year. You might have saw this. If you didn't, now you know. Warner Brothers is indeed releasing an extended cut for Suicide Squad. We all knew it was going to happen. I'm very pleased. I'm going to have another one of these 4K Blu-rays, I'm guessing.
I don't know if this one really means anything though. Like because it's an extended cut. You know,
It's
that's what they're calling it. They're not calling it a director's cut. It's an extended cut just means it's longer. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a definitive edition. We're just going to get more stuff, and it could just be nothing.
No, I think
really.
it is actual stuff. There's a lot of stuff just in the trailers alone that we didn't get. And
Yeah, but is it anything that's going to help the movie, or
I
is
think
it just
so.
extra shit
No.
for the sake of extra
no, I think
shit?
so. There's like a scene towards the end where the Joker shows up right before the Enchantress fight. And it was like in the trailer where he like pulls a grenade pin out with his teeth and he's all fucked up. That's the one that comes to mind. But there's
I mean, we'll see, but I don't know if this is like Batman versus Superman.
No,
where it's
no.
a
It's
radically
gonna-
different cut of the movie that's going to necessitate
necessitate. Yeah.
another
No,
review from
no,
us.
not another review from us. But
Probably not. Like,
This-
I mean,
I hope they do this for all their films, and it would be kind of cool if Man of Steel got one too, just because. But
that's perfect as it is, man. I don't need another
I'm just saying, it would be awesome to get a little bit more content there. But like maybe like a younger Lex Luthor.
There are
hanging out.
deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, so you can look at those.
Maybe I will. When that goes 4K, I'll probably grab that one. But
It already is.
is it really?
Yeah, but it's a 2K.
No.
convert,
Like I want
like most of
before,
them.
like the actual 4K UHD Blu-ray.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just I'm sure it's sourced from a 2K DI and it's up converted.
Well, either way, the Suicide Squad extended cut is coming out next month digitally, and then home video November 13th. So if anyone out there in La La Land, Listener Land, whatever you want to call it, wants to give me a birthday, not birthday, but Christmas present, I would like that one. I've already seen it twice.
It's going to be on my wish list for sure.
I'm only expecting like 10 to 15 minutes of extra footage, but that's
Like-
going to help. Like it's going to make it into a more conclusive part. If Jared Leto does get more screen time, given how much he was
That's-
marketed, or if Margot Robbie like gets some shit where, it's her being herself
It's
and
up
less
for
of a sex
debate,
object.
honestly. I mean, like, extended cuts historically, when you call them that, it's just extra shit without really adding much.
Kingdom
and it's
of
stuff
Heaven?
that's been cut clearly for a reason. No, that's a director's cut.
Is it?
Like when you call something an extended cut, it's rarely, if ever, like
Lord of the
something
Rings?
important. Like in fact, granted, this is what 13 minutes longer.
No
I
one
mean,
knows.
hell, and yeah, even if you want to bring up The Hobbit, like I think the one for An Unexpected Journey was 13 minutes longer. Barely fucking worth it, or barely any different, honestly.
Oh no, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah,
movies.
Lord of the Rings, that's a special case. But, I don't know. There's, like, Fast 5 comes to mind where I think it was 3 minutes longer. What was the fucking point of that, really?
I'm looking at my library right now.
I'm just saying, like, I have, in my Blu-ray collection, there's so many extended cuts of movies that have, like, are recent releases that are kind of pointless. So it's just not a term that I get excited by.
That's fair. I am excited about this though, just because like they didn't have to. As in terms of Batman vs Superman, the reason they announced that right after, or even before it was in theaters,
They said it before. They said that there would be a director's cut.
They
Clearly,
said
which
it-
said that there was a specific version that would be out there before the movie.
yeah, they
like,
announced
got a
that
chance to play
right
theatrically.
during the press, right when the embargo was lifted. Oh, by the way, the Ultimate Cut is
Yeah.
coming, guys. It's gonna be rated R.
Yeah,
It's
they
gonna have
said,
30
"Hey
minutes.
guys, so the director's version of the movie, it's not going to be the one
Yeah.
in theaters. You can wait."
So for that one,
like that's the thing. And with this, we know that David Ayer has his own cut, even though he stands
Yeah.
by the theatrical. But that's not what this is being called by definition. So I don't know.
yeah, what I'm just trying to say is that it's like they did this one the right way. Like Warner's announced it after it already made so much money. It's
Exactly.
basically out of theaters. So all the fans didn't feel spurned that they already wasted their money on the ticket, that they didn't get the version that they were expected to get.
Now they got something else to get
Exactly.
excited
They have
about.
another version.
Or bitch about, depending on where you stand. on
Well,
the
I
movie.
doubt if people are bitching. Think about how many people bitched about Batman vs Superman and didn't even check out the Ultimate Cut. I've talked to so many people who are like, "Oh, you're talking about that movie that sucked? Why would I want to see a 30-minute longer version?" Matter of fact, Greg said that on our 2 Cents episode 2 weeks back. But we have episodes for the Ultimate Cut and Suicide Squad. Matter of fact, it's the same exact episodes that I'll review. And we're going to be talking about that show a little down the line. Some other film stuff, though. Superheroes, staying with that for a second. Wolverine 3, it's officially titled Logan. It's coming early March. I want to say it's March 3rd to be accurate.
Like, it's coming soon,
Yeah.
really, and we haven't seen much.
Yeah, I like this, though. I mean, we've known that it's going to be a hard R version, kind of
Yeah,
Fox going, oh, yeah,
absolutely.
work for Deadpool, work for this one. But Hugh Jackman himself, He Instagrammed a photo on the Fox backlot of the big banner. They posted a picture of Old Man Xavier. So this is going to be Old Man Logan, I would assume. It looked like he has a kid in the movie in the same way he does in that comic book. So I'm excited. This is supposedly the last time Hugh Jackman's going to don the blades. So it could be the end of the franchise in the way that we know it now.
Well, it's also the last time he's ever going to play Logan.
Supposedly.
You know that. Or Wolverine.
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. Fox can always sign a bigger paycheck.
I don't even know if it's the paycheck. It's just, I didn't see Apocalypse from what everyone said. It sets up more, and so what else is Hugh Jackman doing? He's not going to want to do Pan 2, you know, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is a time where you got to hang the cape, though. Or claws, I guess, to be more specific, if you want to make puns. Well, can you hang claws? That's the thing.
I've seen it. You can hang them in the kitchen. They make those, like, bear claw.
You got to get them surgically removed.
You
and
just put some back in. You put some back in his skin, man. They retract. There you go.
You know what? CGI, Hugh Jackman. There you go. We can do it now.
Here's a super...
Just sell your image. He never has to work again. Just get the royalty check.
Here's a superhero film that's not actually in the genre. This is a biopic. Sony Pictures is going to distribute a film about Wonder Woman's creator, Dr. William Moulton Marston. He's a really interesting guy. There's like I don't know if you saw it, but there's a special feature about the creation of Wonder Woman on the Dawn of Justice Blu-ray. It's really good. It's about...
I've not dug into any of those bonus features yet, unfortunately.
Each of the three characters of the Trinity get like... it's like right under 20 minutes. It's a quick little, bonus feature documentary type thing. They're all really good, especially the Wonder Woman one. I learned a whole bunch. But this film is going to be directed by Angela Robinson, who is a queer director responsible for like Herbie Fully Loaded, episodes of The L Word, a couple episodes of True Blood and stuff. And it's going to deal... First off, it's called The Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. It's already in production, and it's gonna, I would guess, bow right around the same time Wonder Woman is released by Time Warner, to trying to capitalize on that fame. But the concept, it's like, how did this doctor create the character with his wife, and also like they have like a mutual mistress. It's like they have like a three-way setup or something like that. And so it's going to be more about their dynamic and how that influenced the character, and maybe like her like queer sensibilities. Like people recently, authors of the character themselves have said like, oh yeah, if you're on the Amazon island, you're on Themyscira, you're
naturally,
you're only around women. You're going to interact with women, But even cooler than this, DC is going to be making a comic book that's Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77. They've had a long-running Batman 66 series, like Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman have written it. There's like Batman 66 meets the Green Hornet, all kinds of stuff. But this one's new. I think it's going to run like 12 issues or something like that. So it should be pretty interesting just to see what they do there. I've read like maybe one issue of this stuff. I'd rather just watch an episode of the Adam West show itself. But it's a cool concept with the way that they're doing the shared universe. It's like, well, what if those TV shows did cross over? So just kind of cool. Way cooler, though, in a certain realm. I'm not exactly excited, but definitely can't undermine its importance. Blade Runner, the sequel, it's coming out exactly a year from now, October 6, 2017. It has a title. It's a super title ever. It's called Blade Runner 2049. Even better...
That really doesn't mean
anything. It's the stupidest fucking title. But even cooler than that, it's going to have a VR experience. The only downside is that it's going to be exclusive to Oculus. But even still, this is the kind of film that necessitates... What did you say?
Necessitates.
That's not what you said. Necessitates? Whatever you try to say.
Necessitates.
But this is a legacy sequel that could actually be good. The second one that Harrison Ford's going to be part of. It has a good cast.
I really hope it doesn't ruin the ambiguity of Blade Runner.
Runner.
Naturally, depending on which version you're talking about.
The only real version. I tried watching the theatrical cut sometime earlier this year. I turned it off after like 20 minutes.
I still enjoy that one. I really do.
That narration killed me.
Not for the same reasons.
It killed me. I had to stop. I'm a Blade Runner.
It's definitely not good, but maybe it's because it's the first one I saw too.
Probably.
I don't know. I can't remember. God, I first saw that movie.
If I had seen the director's cut of Daredevil before I saw the theatrical, I'd probably hate it. but I didn't, and so I love it.
It's fair. No, well, but it's not that dramatic though. Like, it's really with Daredevil. It's just the way that scenes are managed, not that there's a whole other element with a voiceover thrown.
Well,
in.
there is the sex scene, which does change a lot.
Yeah.
So.
No, well, yeah, the absence of it for sure. That's like one of the few things in the director's cut that's not present in the.
Can I get some peanuts?
No, other vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
This one's less important. It is a video game adaptation, though, that could do well. Right on the heels of Gears of War 4 being released, Universal has announced that they've optioned the rights to the Microsoft franchise. It was in development hell at New Line in the last decade, passed around a whole bunch of times. But with Universal's recent track record, I could see them teaming with Legendary to put this out. It has a really interesting world. They've already had like 5 stories told in the franchise, plus tie-in books and comic books and all kinds of stuff that this one could actually work. Halo, that's not really possible. BioShock is unlikely. But Gears of War is exciting enough that like there are just the character designs alone, it would translate really well to the screen. I could see this happening, especially because Microsoft, there's yet to be a Microsoft property outside of their own in-house Halo stuff and Quantum Break to be adapted to live action. So this could be the first one. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes out by like 2022. Just giving it a quick head start because just the CGI alone would probably take like a year or two.
Yeah, maybe. I really, as far as casting, like they'd have to get a bunch of big dudes for this. I think The Rock is a given.
I don't want to see The Rock in this one.
Maybe even Vin Diesel. Well, they have to get like a bunch of really big guys for that. You know that. That's a
if
given.
they do the Marcus Phoenix route, I could see Jared Butler. Gerard, whatever. I could see him.
Yeah.
Especially because he's kind of been under the radar lately. I mean, he was in Olympus
I don't
Has Fallen.
know if he does action movies that much, really. These days,
he was in
honestly.
London Has Fallen earlier this year, but.
Oh yeah, well.
He's kind of.
I don't know. We're getting to 3 years. I'm sorry. Why am I saying 3? 10
Since
years
300,
on
yeah.
300. Yeah. So it's like it's kind of getting to that point where, I mean, shit. Even Daniel Craig is tired, and his first Bond flick was 10 years ago now.
Bullshit. He's coming. I'm pretty sure he's coming back. He's coming back.
Yeah, they might pull a Sean Connery and offer him a shitload of money because it sadly might be just a paycheck movie, and we might get a mediocre Bond out of it because the same thing happened with.
I mean, we talked about this last time Blake was on the show. I'm pretty sure he's been offered a shitload of money. I think with the rumor back then it was $100 million for 2 movies,
which is ridiculous.
Seems
though.
accurate.
Like that is incredibly absurd. Like there's no way he's worth.
That's
that
the
much.
opening weekend for just one of the movies. Not even the opening.
150 million.
No, 100.
It's like 2 weeks.
100.
100 is fair. 150.
No, not
really...
150. Like 50 per.
Yeah, no, but that was one of the rumors.
No, I think it was 100. It was like 50 per movie.
No, it was 150.
That's stupid.
It was, yeah.
He's not worth that. That's a whole new franchise.
That's what I
said. You could.
That's a budget.
Yeah, you could budget a movie and market it and distribute it for less than that.
No, we had this conversation. It was stupid.
So fucking stupid. But the last regular movie news items to trying to get your teeth in, quench your thirst here. I know you didn't believe this when I was taking my bathroom break. Sorry, I had Mexican food before the show. But Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind has joined the trend of movies that don't need TV reboots getting them anyway. It's being set up by anonymous content with Universal Cable Productions, a.k.a. the Mr. Robot Tandem. And this has joined the ranks of Dynasty, Magnum P.I., The Lost Boys, Varsity Blues, The Departed, Let the Right One In, L.A. Law, and those are just the ones in development. We also got like Lethal Weapon, The Exorcist, what else? It's hard to list them all because there's so many that shouldn't exist that it's dumbfounding. But I'm sure you're really upset about this, just like the rest of the internet.
If you want my comments on this, just go back and listen to what I had to say about The Lion King last week. Like, this is the second time that one of my favorite films is getting a remake or a redo, this case in TV. Fuck, you know what? Next week, for all I know, the CW might announce that they're doing a TV version of Battle Royale, or
I could see that.
I don't know. Maybe there's going to be another quote adaptation of A Clockwork Orange.
I could see Battle Royale and CW, like legitimately.
Yeah. See, I could see them doing that, but fuck, I would definitely. Yeah, I mean, this is me like personally not wanting to see shit that I love getting touched, but. God damn it, this one is ridiculous.
It's the stupidest fucking
Varsity
thing.
Blues, I get it. Eternal Sunshine, what the fuck?
Departed is like the worst case example of this because Let the Right One is just as bad. We'll go with that one because Let the Right One in is
That
a
makes no
European
sense.
novel that was adapted to a movie that was
Well,
remade.
you haven't seen the remake.
I'm just saying
yet,
it's
though,
remade
have
in
you?
America, and now this is going to
Okay.
be a TV version of that remake. It's kind of like Friday Night Lights.
I think, yeah.
You take a true story, you adapt it into a book, that book becomes a movie, that movie becomes a TV show, and now they're trying to make that TV show into the movie. It's so
Like,
stupid.
It's really weird. Like in the case of Let the Right One In, though, I do recommend you watch the remake.
I'll
actually,
see it
for your
eventually,
Halloween
like
thing
probably.
this year, if you can, like, because it's really it's one of those remakes that like actually is sort of copying the original, but brings in enough differences to also make it its own unique thing. That's far more American than it is Swedish.
With my
but yet like the obvious parallels are there too. It's a really fucking good remake.
With
though.
my Halloween marathon thing, which I'm going to be talking about in just a second here, I try to watch the source material or the original versions of things. So, for instance, Ringu is on my list, not The Ring.
But you did see the Let the Right One In.
Yeah, I
right?
saw that
Yeah.
like 7 years ago now. So,
I mean, you just watched the remake of The Blob at this
yeah,
point,
which I haven't
so-
seen the original, but that's like
Oh,
in the same way that I haven't seen the original version of The Fly or The Thing. And like all three of those, if you check the internet, the remakes are better than the original.
Yeah, I still need to see The Blob.
Check it out.
One. Kurt Russell's in
No,
that,
no,
isn't it?
no, it's a thing.
No, okay, so, or someone is that looks
No,
like him. I think.
Kevin Dillon is.
No?
Johnny Drama from Entourage is in The Blob, and he has a mullet, a leather jacket, and a motorcycle. He's like the quintessential.
course you would love
he's like the
that.
quintessential '80s badass, but he's not the real star. It's this girl. But the creature effects in that are so kick-ass. And there's like this movie theater scene, which is one of the best things I've ever seen in a movie that takes place in a movie theater.
That scene's also in the original.
I have a feeling in the remake,
I
it's
bet
like
that this one topped it at least as far as gore and shock.
Not
value,
even.
'cause, yeah, in the original.
Oh man, it's so awesome.
It was well no I've actually I'm pretty sure that I've seen this one because I think it's one of the scenes that the Alamo uses when they have their don't talk, don't text, or else you get fucking kicked out, or they do really cool creative shit with it. But that's one of the ones I'm pretty sure that
Yeah, I'd be perfect for it because there's someone talking in the back of the theater as you come back to the scene like 2 or 3 times, and then the blob gets there, and it's so awesome. I just wish the movie was actually good. Like it's like
you're making me
no,
sad.
it's not a bad movie. It's just the action, well, not the action, but the effects are so fucking cool.
I hope it's
The-
fun.
It's kind of
honestly,
fun,
like, 'cause I
except
do-
it's not like really fun. Like that was my problem. Like it's not scary, and it's fun, but not fun in the way that I wanted. Which is kind of weird because like Frank Darabont wrote the screenplay or like co-wrote the screenplay. It was like one of his first things in Hollywood, I believe. You should check it out though.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
I think-
yeah,
I think you'll
do-
like it.
I've wanted to see it for a long.
Yeah, I was gonna
time.
see it last year, but I turned it on. I was like, this is starting way too slow. But once the movie starts going, once the blob lands, oh man, so cool. So that's the top of the show. That's the film stuff. We usually do it at the end, just try and change things because it gets monotonous. But right here is the part where you could sponsor our show. Last week I was talking about Patreon. It is officially up after like promising for 3 months or so. It is live.
Yeah.
If you go to patreon.com/dollarreviews, you can see the kind of things that you can get for supporting the show. We do this all the time. We do at least 2 episodes a week. Sometimes the most we've ever done was 5 episodes in 1 week when Star Wars Episode 7 came out.
Well, that was any time Oscar season or just
Yeah.
December in general is a busy season. Like I don't know. Maybe this could happen again this year.
I don't know. It was
Well,
because
shit. I don't know. I'm still
for
pretty adamant
Episode
that I don't
7,
want to see Rogue One,
I don't think we do it
honestly.
for Rogue One, but for Episode 7, we had the Star Wars Saga retrospective. We had
Yeah.
the holiday special Jets of Cinema, an Episode 2 cents. We had the Episode 7 dollar views episode, and then a few dollars more
Actually,
for it
no.
as well.
The Episode 7 was the first main review, but then we had the entire saga retrospective right after.
Was that what it was? I thought we had 2 episodes,
Yeah.
but either way, it was like 4 or 5
'cause
episodes.
that was just going to be a dollar reviews episode, and then once we were done with that, you suggested cutting that off and then doing a separate dollar reviews that was not Star Wars related. Because
Yeah,
we had other stuff to talk
we
about.
definitely did a few dollars more for that, though. That's when that show started, which never happened. So it's very few and far between. So yeah, we do at least 2 episodes. Those two episodes are 2 cents what you're listening to right now, and then also Debts to Cinema, which is our semi-topical list of shame show. We do lots of stuff. We just did Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space. That's going to be available for your listening pleasure on Wednesday. Last week was The Toxic Avenger. That started off my horror marathon. I've since watched Class of Nukem High, The Blob, like I mentioned, Murder Party, which is Jeremy Saulnier's first film, and
how
it's
is that?
interesting. It's very, very wacky. Like, you wouldn't, if you've seen the rest of his stuff, the only way...
Interesting kind of makes it sound like it's not...
No, it's not bad. It's like, if you've seen the rest of his stuff, you'd have a hard time believing it's the same guy. The gore is still there. Macon Blair is still starring in it, or like one of the stars, but it seems like a completely different director. It is not super serious. And it's shot, like, on shitty digital, too. And then the other film I've watched was Hot Tension, or High Tension, the Alexander Aha film. Fuck that movie.
So, Tension?
Fuck that movie so much.
Okay.
Some other stuff we done on the show, though. Victoria, Freddy Got Fingered, A Man for All Seasons, Ricky-O, The Story of Ricky, where I do like introductory rap. If we get $25 a month, I'll do another rap for an episode. Then we have like Bullworth, where Warren Beatty raps.
You should do a Nosferatu rap.
I'm like legitimately scared of that movie. I've been pushing it off for over 10 years.
You know what? I should fly over and force you to watch that movie, because I seriously want to see how you react to that. If you're really that creeped out by it.
It's a creepy fucking look, man.
It is. No. Like, that makeup is so fucking good that it looks
Max
real.
Schreck is very
Still,
scary.
to this day.
Like, I've seen Shadow of the Vampire. I'm probably the only person that's seen Shadow of the Vampire and not seen Nosferatu. I was like, yeah, let me watch the making of film. I don't want to see the real thing.
Yeah.
Like, someone let me...
Nosferatu's a cool movie to
It was like literally like 9 years ago. Someone lent me a DVD.
I think they have screenings here too. I gotta check that out.
It's in the public domain. Someone lent me a copy like 9 years ago. I had it for like a week, and I was I didn't watch it. I just gave it back to him. It's all over the internet, but I'll watch it eventually. I'll probably watch it this year. I'll probably watch it and then also finish off my Universal classic horror films, because I still haven't seen Dracula, Frankenstein,
you got one
Bride
way
of
of
Frankenstein.
ensuring that you watch it.
No, because you already picked your choice, and like I said, I might might make it my next week choice, or it might be.
You got one more Halloween.
Fuck, what did I say it was? I said it was either gonna be Nosferatu or a Phantasm. So it's gonna be something good. But yeah, if like I said, it's our list of shame show. We go back and forth picking something to make the other person watch. And like I said earlier, we also got Dollar Reviews, The Namesake. That's where we do the spoiler-free, no recaps of recent releases. Sometimes they're games, sometimes they're music. It's always a movie, though. So our most recent releases were Yoga Hoser, Suicide Squad, like I said earlier, Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition, Swiss Army Man, which is on home video, you need to check out. So is Sing Street and Green Room. All three of those, I'd buy them for $1. Some of the best films this year, and you can watch them at home legally. So please do that. Some platforms are on before we get to the headlines. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, WordPress, Tumblr. We're at Dollar Reviews on all those. And if you want to listen to us and you don't want to go to our website, we're on the Internet Archive, Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, SoundCloud, Podcat, like so many damn things. And I try to keep on adding more. If it's true that SoundCloud's getting bought out by Spotify, we could be even on there in the near future. But here's the headlines. Here's the real stuff. And the first one is a little bit of a doozy, especially because Netflix comes up a lot on here. But the big red company, the Red Envelope Films people, they've just entered into a 10-picture exhibition deal with iPic to secure Academy recognition possibilities for some of their upcoming films. I don't know any of them. Oh, I take that back. Mascots, the latest film by... the latest mockumentary by Christopher Guest is one of them. I don't know the other 9. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of a hot topic because NATO, the North American Theater Owners Association, I think that's what the acronym is for, they're warning them to tread lightly.
I think North American, not Native
American. Well, oops. That's how you know it's live. But yeah, they're warning Netflix to tread lightly because they've done this before. It was 2 years ago now when they announced that they were going to distribute the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sequel, and AMC boycotted that film. I think Edwards boycotted it. A couple of chains. Was it Regal?
Yeah, Edwards is, like, Regal owns Edwards United Artists.
So, yeah, it was Regal and AMC, and they were like, fuck you guys. It was just streaming, I think, IMAX. But
No, I mean, they made the exclusive deal with IMAX, I think, and... but yeah, it's just even IMAX theaters that are operated by Regal and AMC, they didn't show it.
This also kind of happened last year when we had Beasts of No Nation. Fuck.
And I was like at one of the 30
Yeah,
screens that
for
showed
some
it.
reason.
Yeah.
I think there's like another thing.
Well, no. Hey, we talked about that. That is a perfect movie to watch in the
Sure.
theater. It really
No one's
was.
talking about it anymore. It's dead in the water. Didn't win anything. Didn't get nominated for anything. That one's done.
No. But hey, it has some beautiful music. I still
Has
remember
has
that
some
score.
beautiful imagery. It's shot really well. Like I would like to see more Netflix stuff because we do review almost everything they've done. We did Tallulah recently, also The Little Prince. Not XOXO. I don't think we're gonna do that one.
What is that?
It's like
one?
about rave culture. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no,
well.
not really. It's like
Yeah.
I think it might be a rom.
No.
It's like Go, but at a rave. I don't know. I'm not interested.
Were you about to say rom-com?
It's like romantic. I know that. Like I think it. Like I said, it's like Go. It's like a pastiche of different people over the course of one night, and they like run into each other, and there's romance and adventure and music and drugs
And rape.
Maybe I don't know. I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
wonderful.
Grab him by the pussy, man.
Nah, it's... Oh, come on.
Yeah, and then you come on him.
That
Yeah.
joke was inevitable,
Yep.
wasn't it?
But yeah, Reed Hastings, he's telling them like basically go fuck yourself. Like NATO is strangling the movie business, which is kind of true because it doesn't make sense, especially with how fast movies come to digital now anyway, and even home video for that matter. Why can't they be streaming like video on demand in the same way that the little indie stuff like IFC films are? They're in theaters. Sometimes, matter of fact, even like on Vudu, they're streaming before they're in theaters, and that way they can incentivize people to stay home and watch it with friends, lower the price of admission, and then you can build buzz on your own without having to have the trades do it or people like us. Because for something like what happened recently, I think it was like Morse from America, the Wilder People movie by Taika Waititi, like a lot of movies like that with like Independent Spirit Award nominees or things that are at whatchamacallit at I can't even remember the name right now. Sundance, like the ones that don't get picked up, the ones that aren't like Birth of a Nation that get $20 million for bot and shit.
And get like a major studio
Yeah,
release.
all the other ones.
Or hell, even Yoga Hosers, which is now available on Amazon Instant if you want to
Yeah.
see it, which we reviewed.
Kevin Smith deserved my money for that one. It was fun enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a perfect Prime movie, especially for the Halloween season.
What's on Instant right now, not Prime.
It's going to be on Prime very soon, I would assume.
Eventually, yeah.
But lots of stuff are on there, and yeah, it doesn't make sense to me because there are weird examples where the major studios break these rules. The two that come into mind were last summer, Scouts Guides to the Zombie Apocalypse, and also The Gallows, I think it was, were streaming 28 days after they left theaters, which is like unheard of.
I don't know if it was The Gallows. It was definitely the last Paranormal
That's what it was,
Activity.
yeah. Is that
Which,
marked
and
ones,
actually,
yeah.
they made a big deal out of that. I think AMC refused to show the movie, or some theater chains
it wasn't
did.
AMC. I think AMC pulled it because I was working for them at the time. But I remember just, we're talking about
There were theater chains though that refused to show
period.
it because of
just,
that
just for
reason.
that reason. Like
Yeah.
Paramount was trying to, and not even just Paramount on the whole, but their Vantage, their smaller label, they were trying to do something different with their genre flicks. And I don't know if it worked. It was on Redbox real fast. I really enjoyed the Zombies Guide to the Zombie Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah, you did.
But this is silly. Like, Netflix wants to win awards. Amazon's already won them. Like, throw them a bone. Like, why are you gonna basically boycott their stuff, not show their own things, and then also scramble basically to figure out a way to keep the movie business alive? Because if it's not a blockbuster, it doesn't make money anymore, and then even blockbusters don't make money. Like, for every Finding Dory that gets $1 billion international this year, there's what are some of the big flops?
Warcraft.
That wasn't so bad internationally, and it's doing good on home video too.
Okay, but in America,
in America didn't do so great.
because this is really where this centers around. I mean, this is the North American Theater
the-
Association that's making these calls. It's affecting
The
American
better
box
examples are like
office.
Ghostbusters
in their view.
or like
Well, that I made more money than Warcraft, at least domestically.
I'm thinking like
And like Ghostbusters, I think. Well,
I want to say there was
granted-
something kind of like Gem and the Holograms this year that just did nothing.
That just completely
yeah.
tanked.
I can't think of what it is right now.
There was Gods of Egypt, which evidently, you know what? A lot of people are more positive on that movie now.
No,
and
no.
actually saying, "Hey, it's actually
Ben-Hur
pretty
was
good."
the one. That's the one that just went.
Okay, well, But that's the movie that no one saw because no one fucking wanted a Ben-Hur movie.
I'm not sure about that.
Like that's why that tanked, is because no one wanted to fucking see it.
I think that tanked because it was probably bad. That's probably the reason.
No, seriously. Like, you saw the ads, and it was like no one asked for this. People are laughing at it.
I don't think I did see the ads. Like, I go to the theaters so
Really?
infrequently now, and when I do, I kind of purposely show up late so I don't have to see that shit.
Yeah, no, that. I mean, Paramount was looking for a bunch of reasons to blame why it tanked, but the reason really is because no one fucking had any interest in seeing a Ben-Hur movie. We're in a completely different time where, you know, an adaptation of that book is not a really good incentive to see it. If you want to see, like, the original Ben-Hur, part of the fucking appeal
not the
of that
original,
is because it's a
not
classic.
the original, but the classic,
the original remake.
Yeah,
how
there
about
you go.
that? Or readaptation, however you want to put it.
It's just chariot races probably aren't interesting anymore. It's like Gladiator was the end of the Gladiator film. That should have just killed the genre, never bring it back. Like, that isn't what we connect. I'm sorry, if you're making a big tent pole that doesn't have cell phones in it, it's probably not going to be a success because the kids aren't going to be able to relate when they're using their phones in the theaters.
Well, funny you should say that, because Jungle Book's like one of the big movies this year.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, no.
That one was in 3D.
There's no cell phone in Kung Fu Panda 3.
I don't know, actually. I haven't seen that.
I'm pretty sure there's no cell phone in Kung Fu Panda 3.
Maybe Jack Black made it.
Was there even a cell phone in the Angry Birds movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Actually.
I would hope that there's a
Yeah.
bird playing, like, Angry Pigs or something in that movie. Like, there's some
Yeah.
kind of joke like that where they're playing the game, but it's not the game. It's like a joke on the joke. We'll see. I could see that for free. It's like part of... I have like 3 movies I can buy for free, or like get for free through Sony because I have a Sony phone, and Sausage Party is going to be one, so I'll watch that in the coming weeks.
Man, I got so many movies I need to catch up on. Like, I was so close to finally seeing Zootopia.
Oh, watch it,
but
man.
I
That's
want
probably
to.
one of the better things on Netflix right now. Like,
I'm about
really
to.
solid.
I will
Really,
get to
really
that
solid.
probably, yeah.
it's on my... It's probably going to be an honorable mention on my list this year. Yeah,
Really?
like it's just a pretty damn good noir film. It's a fun buddy cop film. There's an okay mystery. There's a good message there. The animation is great. It's pretty funny. There's some good music. Like, across the board, most everything with it is good. And
Yeah, I made a list of like stuff I want to catch up on, because actually, even though it may not be top 10 worthy, I missed out on a lot.
yeah, I haven't
Like,
seen a lot either.
I really want to see Lights Out at some point, or at least Pete's Dragon, which I hear is really good, or even Magnificent Seven and
Well,
Deepwater
I thought you
Horizon.
saw Lights Out.
No, I didn't. I saw Don't
there you
Breathe,
go.
but I didn't
Yeah,
see
yeah.
Lights Out.
I knew you saw one
Yeah.
of those. I almost watched Hush
Yeah.
last night. I was about to.
Oh, I really
Yeah,
like that one.
I want to. I'll
Fucking
probably like that's
hated
not on
Don't
my
Breathe,
list
but-
but I'll probably watch Hush. And I was looking at my Netflix queue, and I have a couple things on there. I was like, oh yeah, I should watch that. I should watch that.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking at my Amazon watch list, and Goodnight Mommy is on
That
there.
seems-
I'm like,
that
oh,
seems so
it's the
scary,
perfect
yeah.
time. Yeah, I should watch it.
Yeah, I might watch that. I might save that one for. Well, that's the thing with Amazon, that since they take things off so frequently, that if you do wait,
That's why I should watch
yeah,
that now. Probably.
yeah, you should. Maybe I'll watch that one.
Yeah,
I don't know if we'll do Dead to Sin. We could do like $1 reviews for that one, even though it's old.
maybe. Yeah, we haven't done those in a while.
Fucking, I'm cheap, man. I'm almost saw Girl on the Train.
No, hey, I'm busy too. It's
It's
a
less
really-
so that I'm busy. It's more so
We do what we can
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
so.
It's more so you guys got to go out there and fund us on Patreon. Support us for less than a cup of coffee a day.
Hey, let's be fair though, and point out. I see that you have the incentive of $1,000. We'll do anything you
Yeah.
want. Come on, let's just be sure and add within.
No,
reason.
no. For if that's a
No. Within
that's
reason.
a
Come on.
monthly.
This is the perfect
No, no.
concept for
Patreon?
a Halloween horror movie, right there. Is that you could get kidnapped when someone says, "Hey, I'll give you $1,000.
No.
Do whatever I want you to
Patreon
do."
is a monthly subscription. It is not a one-off
Uh-huh.
fee. So for $1,000 a month, I would do just about anything. That is not a joke.
See, that sounds like the concept of a horror movie, right there.
Like, I need to.
Don't tempt
I need
it,
to
but,
like
you
find a
could
way,
totally-
because you can set up Patreon so it's a one-off thing. Because like for instance, like the $200 incentive for me to design a business card and order them and send them to you, which isn't bad. Like me making business cards, 500 copies, and send them to you, and figuring out, I can't guarantee it's going to be as good as the ones that I've made for us, but I can try. I mean, I'm not going to force someone to pay before we like have the conversation. But
You might even make your own business out of that. You might find that
no,
you're really good at
I've
it.
like I've confronted, or not confronted, but talked to several people I know about business cards, and I tell them like, here's my card. I think I have a knack for this. If you need a card, let me know. I'll make you one. And all of them are like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then they haven't got back to me. So it's like,
You got to keep
yeah,
pushing.
yeah. I'm gonna keep pushing the show along though. Hot off their massive flop of Masterminds, that's one of them this year that didn't do well. Ryan Kavanaugh is looking to sell Relativity. This is the craziest fucking thing because Dana Brunetti was just put on as president. They just came out of bankruptcy, and now the guy who created the studio is looking to sell it to someone.
Like within the past 67 weeks, didn't we cover
Like everything, yeah.
like Relativity?
Like the whole
this is
bankruptcy,
way
the
too
way
fast.
they came back, Kevin Spacey and Dana Brunetti being there, Kevin Spacey leaving.
in such a short amount of time.
It's so crazy. Like maybe, Wanda. We're gonna be talking about them. We're gonna talk about them right now. Wang Jielin, the chairman of Dial Wanda Group. If you don't know the name, they're like one of the biggest companies, not just in China but in the world. They own real estate. They own movie studios such as Legendary Pictures. They own theater chains such as AMC Theaters and Lowe's. Well, to be Lowe's, Carmike, UCI, their own homegrown thing. They have theme parks and hotels and resorts. But their chairman is coming to Hollywood this upcoming week. The richest man in China is going to be at LACMA. He's going to be doing an event that's most likely, I would guess, just a front for him, looking around at Legendary, checking what's going on, and trying to buy something else. Maybe Wanda's going to buy Relativity. Why not? It can't be expensive.
They have the money
Exactly.
at this point. Like it, yeah.
Like they said they want to buy a real studio. Relativity is like on the way to that.
It's not one of the big six.
Like I said, it's on the way. It's
it's a
exactly.
stepping
It's a
stone, yeah.
building block. Like you can't just get a major studio. You need to prove that you know how to run movies. And if they have Relativity and their own shit and Legendary, just put them all together. Do like a whatchamacallit, do a Amblin Partners, where it's like not actually a real studio, but it's E1 and Participant and DreamWorks and DreamWorks Animation, all that shit all together.
They'll probably get Sony. Honestly.
I can't see that
very likely
because
one.
I've talked about this a lot on the show.
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe
It's like Sony.
It's yeah. I guess because it's owned by Japan. Yeah.
No, that's not
but
the reason. It's more so Sony is mostly focused on their.
They're successful outside of movies.
Well, outside of
but
everything.
their movie studio.
They're successful nowadays in their PlayStation brand. It's probably their youngest entity. It's a little bit less. Well, a little bit over 20 years old now. And with PSVR coming out in a couple of days, who knows how big this fourth quarter is going to be for them? But they are already making adaptations of their successful PlayStation properties for films and for TV. And they have so much building on
But
to
how
that.
successful are they going to be?
I don't-
We still have yet to see how well that's
No,
going to
no
work.
one knows, but with how many video game adaptations are coming out, we just talked about Gears of War. This year alone, we got Assassin's Creed in less than 2 months. January, we have the final Resident Evil movie.
I'll take back that stupid statement because for a second I completely forgot that. Oh right, Sony is not strictly
Movies, TVs, phones,
Yeah.
cameras, lenses, optics,
Video games,
so
yeah.
many damn things that they're trying to make it all come together. Like Kaz Hirai, when he was promoted to CEO, was that like 6 years ago or something? They have been more integrated. Like when they stopped making like tie-in movies and stuff, but like for instance, Spider-Man, which they're putting out next summer, they're making a video game that's only going to be on PlayStation. For that, it's not tied to that movie, but it is going to be a Spider-Man game. And so I would assume that, like in the same way that they made a Ghostbusters game for that movie, that even if these tie-in movies or adaptations aren't good, I don't think they would sell. Just because even if Ghostbusters flops and they don't have the rights to James Bond anymore and they're struggling to find a franchise, they still have like the Men in Black 23 Jump Street film. They still have what else? Like besides Spider-Man, I can't even think. Like they have been kind of in the shitter in terms of the movies, like with
Yeah.
Pixels last year. But
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sony Pictures Animation, they make pretty good stuff. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, there is that, and I guess Angry Birds did well
And,
enough.
it made a ton of money. There you go.
I wanted
They
to
had-
credit Sausage Party, although it's so disheartening to hear
Yeah,
that like
the
after
studio
that
is
creative team
horrible,
did
yeah.
so well that they didn't get paid.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, it's like, oh, this got made for $20 million. That's really fucking amazing because it's got some of the best animation of the year.
Better
Oh,
examples, though, earlier this year, they
man.
rebooted the Ratchet and Clank video game series and put out a movie adaptation. And Sly Cooper's going to
Yeah,
get an
but
adaptation,
a
too.
lot of people
Oh,
forgot
no, that
about
movie
that,
did
though.
very poorly. I still want
Yeah.
to see it. Like, just because I am curious, because that's not something that happens frequently. Someone who makes a property in one medium very rarely also makes a version of that in another medium themselves. And so Sony is a very special pony in that kind of respect. And I don't think they would sell for that reason. I still think it'd be much more likely that Viacom would get rid of Paramount, or that maybe even Fox, with the way things have been going there, because all they have is X-Men. Like, well, X-Men and the Apes movies. I can't think of anything else that they have. Like, look at Fantastic Four. Look at fucking just Josh Trank. Period.
Franchise-wise, I mean, no, like they do pretty well
They don't have Star Wars
with
anymore.
more mid-ground stuff. Like shit, I swear that there's something else that they have that I'm forgetting.
Searchlight. I mean, they've won a couple Oscars because of them. But
Yeah, I wanted to say Star Wars for a second, and I was like, oh right, that logo is not there
Nope.
anymore. God, I missed that.
well, I mean, A New Hope is always going to have that logo because that is a Fox movie.
Yeah, no, but like there is just something that kind of hit me when I was watching.
Yeah, you didn't get the searchlights.
Force Awakens, where it's like
You hear that
it's not
fanfare
there
right
anymore.
before the Lucasfilm shows up. And you're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Star Wars time.
Well, but hey, they do own they distribute DreamWorks' stuff.
Not anymore.
And,
That's gone, or it's about to be gone.
Well, no, they I think they got what, at least one more year. Maybe
Yeah,
a
it's like
couple more
I think it's like
years?
8 months or something. Like it's not very long.
Really? No, it can't be that.
Universal's gonna be, well, not Universal, but Comcast is gonna be
At some
distributing
point,
that
yeah.
stuff by the end of the decade for sure.
Okay, well let's see, they have the Maze Runner series.
That's
I know
kinda
that.
dead.
Well, it's doing fine enough, I guess, for what it is. What's that video game movie that's coming out that they're trying?
I think it's Assassin's
to
Creed.
Start? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they're doing that one. But
Um,
even still, like I said, if out of the majors, I think they're the most likely to budge, just because they do other things, like not Richard Branson, but Murdoch is so busy with other things that they could easily spin off their movie studio, sell that, and just keep their cable news. Like they make more than enough. But I don't know. The segue I was trying to make earlier, we were talking about Wanda and them trying to buy a studio. Alibaba is getting even further into Hollywood now. They've just joined Steven Spielberg's Amblin partner, as a matter of fact. They're going to try to help them reach a Chinese/global audience. And if you don't know the name, Alibaba is basically the Chinese Amazon. They have something like 430 million active users across like online ticketing, cinema services, e-commerce, just everything. Like Amazon literally is the American version of Alibaba. Like they do just as many things. Maybe they're not putting rockets into space, but just about everything else is true. And if this sounds familiar, just a week or two ago, Sony teamed with Wanda to do the exact same thing for their tentpoles. So Spielberg's going to get a boost for something like Ready Player One next year, or not next year, 2 years from now.
No, it's next summer.
No,
isn't
it's
it?
March 2018. Wait,
No, I thought it was summer 2017.
it's March. I can check right now. I know it's March, as it was originally supposed to be. No, yeah, it's 2018, because it was gonna originally be Christmas 2017, going head to head with Episode 8, and then Warner Brothers went, let's not do that, and they moved it ahead 3 months.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to double check that one. I'm so excited about that movie. Oh, I can't wait. I should have auditioned. I should have done the casting call.
I told you.
I didn't want to shave at that point in my life.
Oh, who
No,
gives a fuck? What if you
I
got it?
thought my facial hair looked good. You can't understand. I was like, my beard is fine. I'm not getting rid of it.
Was it completely gone now, or is it just like
It's really trimmed, yeah. I stopped.
It's still rocking the
Yeah,
mullet.
fuck yeah. People like it, I think. Maybe. I don't care if they don't, but...
I don't think many people care if they give a shit. They're really just fucking dicks.
No, you'd be surprised.
because they like bitching. No, they might just be like Justin Bieber, giving.
No,
you
he didn't give me shit. He likes you. Give me a thumbs up. If I was more of a star fucker, I'd probably get...
Ironically, you think?
No, I think I could have got like a picture with him if I wanted to. I just didn't give a shit. Then, like shortly after that fact, like he started, he had like dreadlocks that were hideous, and I was like, "Is that because of me? Did I change?" And then I think he's like off Instagram now. I don't even know.
You're just that influential, Brian.
In some maybe. I don't know. I have been known to be influential in certain circles.
Indeed.
Moving on to some tech stuff, though, and that's going to be the rest of the show. We're done with movies. This is huge, and not in a good way, but it was uncovered by Rutgers that Yahoo complied with NSA spies recently to scan all of its users' emails in real time for a singular keyword. We don't know when. This could have been this week. It could have been last month. We don't know. But what's scary here isn't that there was this breach of trust or that it happened, only a year or two after like 500 million of their users were email accounts were hacked. It's that Verizon owns Yahoo now. And they were the major telecom doing fishy stuff during the Snowden files. But they're looking to get a $1 billion price break because of these spying details. They're trying to say, they clearly aren't doing things the way they should be done. We're going to buy them. We're going to own AOL and them, but we want to spend $1 billion less. Despite our history with spies. And everyone was tweeting about this, most in particular Edward Snowden. And this is very scary. I'm very happy.
I'm just, you can't see it obviously, but I'm just kind of shaking my head no. Like,
I'm so happy.
I don't have
that
anything
my
else to
my
say.
Yahoo Mail account is like my trash account that I don't use anymore. It's my first email address. It's the one that I only use for signing up for things and logging into certain sites. But the fact that NSA came to them, or the FBI, whoever, and said, we want to see butt fuckers. Show us every single email that contains butt fuckers. And they did that. They just, for some reason, they did that. In real time. They didn't hack. They just went, yeah, sure, why not? It was like a test. It wasn't even a real reason. There was no court order.
It's fucking scary, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I don't use my Yahoo email anymore, but I still have access to it, and there's still fucking records on there. There's a catalog of a bunch of stupid shit I said in high school. So, I'm sure I got some really embarrassing shit on there, I'm sure.
It's just scary.
I'm thinking back on something specifically, some drunken emails I've sent to girls or stupid chats.
I've never done
that.
that.
Fuck, that is...
Not emails.
Yeah, or just the fucking drunken notes that I wrote to myself, that I sent to myself, I did on my Yahoo accounts. That's fucking embarrassing to think of. But yeah, fucking...
Google and MSN
just...
and Microsoft and all the other email people have said that they weren't approached, that they didn't do this. Then again, they could all be lying.
Yeah.
So at least this report came out, and I think Yahoo fessed up. But... Where does this go next? How this is the same year where the FBI was basically trying to force Apple to unlock a phone for them, and then they didn't even need them to do it because they found another way to do it. And how scary is this going to get? We're already at danger of potentially crazy people becoming president or ISIS or nuclear war, or how many other
even
things.
That, we're already forgetting some of this stuff. There's information leaked even in this election about these candidates, and we're spending a lot of time pointing fingers at the information when a lot of people are not even thinking, wait, this was acquired illegally.
It's
this
a leak.
Was hacked into something that should have been
no one
confidential.
ever cares about this stuff.
And no one's really thinking for a second, that's fucked up that you can get that, because they're too busy focusing on the
this
story
is how
itself.
It's always been, though. Look at the way the
it's...
Clippers their ownership was transferred. When Donald Sterling, the exact same thing happened. Someone was secretly recording his conversation, leaked it to the press, and then he lost his sports franchise, was shunned by a nation, called a racist, all these kinds of things. And now no one cares. They're like, yeah, good thing that bad thing happened. Would they even care if this happened to their neighbor? This is
it just doesn't go anywhere good, and it's
seriously. I don't think I've seen, and maybe it's because he's kind of a bad man, but I haven't seen one person go, oh man, it kind of sucks that these Trump tapes happen with all the bad shit that's been happening in the recent years with spies and leaks and all this kind of shit. It's just like, oh, let him burn. This is a reason why he should die anyway.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I mean, as if he hasn't said stupid shit on, like, in front of a public that's recorded live on the news at this point. Now we're just getting shit where it's like, okay, it's just more and more affirmation about this stuff, but like, fuck, this stuff makes me not want to talk. It just depresses me to think.
Well,
about
this
it.
is kind of equally as depressing, not as scary. Well, at least not for me because I don't have this kind of money. But Samsung Galaxy Note 7, one of the potentially biggest phones of all time.
Yep.
Engadget reported earlier this week that replacement Note 7s were starting to go haywire. The first one, I think it
heard
was
about
like on
this.
Tuesday. Someone on a Southwest airline, they checked his phone. It was a replacement one. It had the green circle. He was on the flight. Before they even left the terminal, his phone started smoking. They evacuated the plane. There wasn't any danger. But supposedly, they're still checking into this, the FCC and the TSA. But supposedly, like, it left scorch marks on the carpet of the plane. Like, it burned through the top layer. There's been,
Man,
4 other reports of these same things happening, all of the replacement phones. So, following this report, all 4 of the major telecoms are allowing customers to exchange their hot item for another phone. And if that wasn't bad enough, now AT&T and T-Mobile have stopped selling the phones altogether. Matter of fact, during the presidential debate, right in the middle of it, Samsung announced that they're ceasing production of the phone. So, less than...
good. I mean, honestly, like, there was, I just got back from vacation. I was on 7 planes. Every time, they made it very strict. Hey, like, have your devices set on airplane mode or whatever. The Galaxy 7, turn that shit off. And there was a moment where someone had their phone out and a flight attendant yelled at them to turn it off while the flight was up in the air. Like, this phone has been nothing but bad
It's
news.
really scary, too, because
Like,
not because of the
yeah.
potential health concerns, but just that this is the device that already got recalled, and the ones that are now having problems is the replacement for the recall.
Jesus,
they
could you-
lost
seriously,
like
I mean,
$1 billion,
I was
man, in terms of the recall.
I was considering getting that phone and getting a VR headset for that, and
Just
now I'm just thinking, thank
Get
God I
if
didn't
you're gonna do
fucking
that,
go
get
with
the
that.
S7 instead, or the S7 Edge. That one's not giving anyone issues. They're gonna get
still,
such
it's-
a hit from this. I want to know what their stock is gonna look like Monday morning. This is bad for Korea. This is really bad for Samsung. They went from being like one of the potential people to battle Apple. Oh, a matter of fact, their Apple court case just got reopened, so they're going to be losing even more money. The upside, though, if you want to look for the silver lining, Samsung just acquired an AI company called Viv Labs, so they're going to be making a competitor to OK Google, or now it's called the Google Assistant and Siri.
Or maybe create the next Skylight.
Probably.
Who knows?
Maybe the phones are intentionally trying to kill us. But it's
Maybe.
like they go from
It's all connected,
being at the
man.
front lines of the mobile VR space to making some of the most prolific cell phones in recent history to I would not buy one of those devices. I want to see if they can bounce back next year. If they were smart, they would just abandon the Note line. Don't make a Note 8. Just kill it. Because I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to buy it. This is going to make tons of people stay with iPhone or buy a Google Pixel.
No, I mean, like, especially that is the thing. Like, I've been at T-Mobile stores. I got my new phone now, and I'm happy with it. But like, a lot of people are. It's funny. Like, no one's getting the S7 or fucking yeah. No one's getting the Galaxy. Everyone's asking about the iPhone 7 now. Like, and I'm sure part of it, a lot of it has to do with
It depends on the audience and what they want. For instance,
Well, no, but like you can like see them just kind of browsing around, and they're gravitating more towards that. You overhear people saying, "I don't know, I've heard bad news about that phone. Apple's a safe bet."
a
which
safer bet.
It is. It is. It's a safe, like, it's far more secure. It's far more. I'll say this about Apple is like, yeah, their devices are far simpler. It's just there are a lot of trade-offs with that.
This year it's a lot less than it used to be. I mean, you do get water resistance, dust resistance. It has good internal memory from even the cheapest option. all kinds of things. But then to counter that, this week there were two big press conferences. The first one I just mentioned, the Google Pixel. Google showed off their new line of phones. They've stopped doing the Nexus line, and the Pixel phones, there's the Pixel and the Pixel XL, are actually designed by Google. They're being called phones by Google, despite both of them being manufactured by HTC, which is just like a secret that no one even wants to know. But what's weird is that they're only...
Like, they don't even have the HTC logo.
As far as I'm aware, no. But they're only going to be available in Verizon, which is really weird because all of the Nexus phones were only available unlocked. You couldn't buy them at a retailer. They would work with whatever you wanted, whether that be AT&T or T-Mobile or Global, but they have to be Verizon now. It has the same promise as Nexus in terms of having the first iteration of new Android. So for the Pixels, they're getting Nougat 7.1. And they also get unlimited Google photo storage, which is a pretty big deal. 4K videos, 4K photos are going to be put up at their actual resolution without taking up that precious data in the cloud, which is something that Apple doesn't do. iCloud is very expensive. I think like the highest tier is something like $100 a month, and you only get 1 terabyte. Like, it is very expensive for no reason. Like, there's this funny thing. I think it's Engadget, or it's like Arsticana. It's someone, and it's like, okay, Google, why does Apple storage cost so much? Like, it's one of the funniest, like, little sardonic tweets I've seen in quite some time. They didn't show off just this phone, though, because it has a pretty good spec sheet. It's not water or dust resistance like the new iPhone, but supposedly has, like, the best camera of all time. It still has a headphone jack. It's going to have USB Type-C as a fingerprint scanner. It's the first phone, and this is the big one, that's going to be using their Daydream VR headset. It's called the Daydream View. It costs $79, which is pretty expensive considering that this phone by itself is like $700. But if you pre-order the phone, you get the headset for free. It's supposed to feel very soft. It's meant like not to look nice like most of the other, well, not look nice, but it's designed with touch first, not image first.
It's more meant to be durable.
It's just, I don't know. It kind of looks like
I don't like
client shoes, like New Balances and shit. But it's, I don't know. I'm trying not to...
It just feels more friendly than it looks. How about that?
But it has a motion controller, lots of partnerships with like Hulu and YouTube, and well, obviously YouTube, and also like Netflix. And then the big one that they showed off is that there's a J.K. Rowling like Harry Potter experience that's coming first to them only. And the other thing they showed off is Google Home, which is their cheaper equivalent to the Amazon Echo. The Google Home costs $129 versus the Echo is $179, but it does the exact same things to a lesser extent because it's brand new. So you can Google Cast your devices across your house. You can ask it random questions, movie showtimes, weather, stocks. I don't think you can order an Uber yet, but you're going to be able to. And they don't want, like, whereas the Echo is, there's a singular one in your living room, Google Home is they want it to be in, like, every single room. And, like, just to kind of kickstart this transition, they've rebranded the Google Cast app on your phone, which is how Chromecast works. It's now called Google Home to, like, boost awareness. I'm excited, though. Someone I know who's, like, I don't know how tech-savvy she is, but she was actually like kind of just joking with me the other day. She was like, "I want a Google Pixel. You should buy me one." I was like, "Fuck no." I was like, "If someone's getting one, it's gonna be me." It looks like a great device. I want to wait for reviews. It's kind of weird that my 2-year-old Sony phone does basically exactly everything that this phone does, except it doesn't get the new OS upgrades and it doesn't have a fingerprint scanner. But everything else it can do. For one thing, I have expandable storage and a charging dock and 4K. Like, it's stupid. I don't understand how my phone's so old and yet there's like almost no reason for me to upgrade. The final headline, though, and this is the segue for our VR news, which is at the end of the show, but it's usually before film. Oculus Connect 3 happened this week, actually the day after Google did their press conference. This is the annual, or the third annual anyway, Oculus meeting. There's a second one that's happened since Facebook has owned them, I believe. Or third? Has it been all three? It's been all three that Facebook has had a presence there. They showed off a lot of things, like a substantial number, matter of fact. Like, it's going to be a laundry list. I'm going to drink some water right now just so I don't run out of moisture. Okay, so first off, Facebook has invested over $250 million in content in terms of developers and in-house stuff, with another 250 million supposed to be coming soon. On paper, this looks real good. What it actually is this is how they get all their exclusives. They buy it, and it costs a lot, $250 million apparently. Better yet, though, talking about Google having their own headset, Facebook said, there's maybe people aren't buying it now, but there's a Samsung Gear VR, which is $100, and you put your own phone in it. There's Oculus Rift, which is the price point's changing. I'm gonna get to that in a second, which is the high end that you need a big computer for. And then they're making a middle road one, which is supposed to be self-contained, doesn't need a phone to be in it, doesn't need a computer. It's just going to be its own thing. This is going to be the first time that this is going to be possible. So I don't think that this, whatever it's going to be called, probably like the Facebook Rift or whatever, I doubt that this is going to be coming to market for at least another year. Maybe it's going to be holiday season next year when like Intel's new headset comes out. But that's very exciting. And the reason is, I was really apprehensive, and most of the internet was too, about Facebook's presence with Oculus in the recent past, but they showed off this new thing. You're going to be able to make avatars now. You're going to have like friend parties, and there's even going to be this thing called VR Rooms. So the way VR Rooms work, you and up to 7 friends can interact in virtual space together, wherever you want that to be, a movie theater, an office building, a park, whatever, and you can do anything you want. And the way these avatars work, not only do you make them yourself, but they use sensors in the headsets to actually track what your actual emotions look like. They're going to be able to know if you're angry or sad or hungry or whatever. Not exactly sure how you can show hunger with your face, but just bear with me. And
just ways of emoting.
Exactly,
so
without making
like they can reciprocate.
Yeah, so it's more obvious. And this isn't unfounded. There's lots of different social MMOs out there. MetaWorld comes to mind. Sansar from the people behind Second Life. What else? There's a couple other ones, like PlayStation's probably working on their own. But the fact that Facebook is backing this, that you're going to be able to find all your Facebook friends in VR, that it is going to be vertically integrated, it kind of shows, this is why the premier social network on the planet bought this little tiny company. So it's pretty interesting. And
like, it's inevitable that you're going to connect in a virtual space at some point. Like, we've joked about it constantly. One day you and I, because we're in different states and different places, we'll be in a virtual room talking. It's going to happen.
I mean,
as if this podcast keeps going, that's inevitably
it will
going to
happen.
happen.
We're probably going to start doing this in VR. And like, just to better connect the Facebook thing, you're going to be able to live stream your gameplay or experience happenings on Facebook in the near future, too. Only on Oculus, I would assume. Just to try to bring people together. The big thing, though, the large thing that everyone was waiting for at Connect 3, they finally showed off their touch controllers, which are coming December 6th. They're really fucking expensive. It's $199 for just the controllers. It comes with a second tracking camera, which allows like room scale if you buy a third for $79. And then also that you're going to be able to run Oculus off of a $499 computer in the very near future. If you do the math, though, the headset costs $599. These controllers cost $199. That extra camera is $79. The computer is now $500. Not even with the computer, it's now like $80 more than HTC Vive to do the exact same thing. And then if you want to get your own headphones, that's an extra $49 now. So outside of the content, I don't see a reason to go with Oculus, except that's the one that's going to be future-proof. The fact that this huge company is supporting them, throwing all this money at everyone, that it's going to have to work, it's going to have to be a success. They showed off like a VR browser that they're calling Caramel. That's going to be WebDesk, like certified like 3.0. So they're working on things. They're trying new things. They like John Carmack was like talking about the future of VR, where it's like field of view in the next 5 years isn't going to be 100 degrees. It's going to be like 200 degrees and actually engulf your periphery. So it's very exciting. I talk about this stuff a lot on the show. I'm going to be talking about it more in just a second here. Probably the most important thing though about Connect 3 isn't what they showed, it's what wasn't shown. And that was Palmer Luckey. He was not at the conference. He did not get on stage. He did not say a thing. He's on timeout. Mark Zuckerberg...
Is he still under fire for that? Really?
Mark Zuckerberg is definitely told him you need to stay home and play video games by yourself or something, because he wasn't there for the first time. And I'm sure this is going to blow over. It'll definitely dissipate before the inauguration happens. But it's pretty funny that he wasn't invited to the press conference that he began.
Just like, go home, kid.
Yeah.
Let the grown-ups take care of this.
It's pretty funny. When I saw that, I couldn't kind of believe it.
Yeah, I guess it's unsurprising. Like, how long ago was that thing?
2 weeks now.
Yeah, we didn't talk about
me
it,
and
did we?
and Trish did.
Okay, yeah, so that's still
Yeah, it's
pretty
very
recent.
recent. Like it's super stupid too, because he didn't really do anything to really promote Trump. It was like a minimal, I funded a group that has done anti-Hillary stuff, and I only gave them $10,000. Like it wasn't.
To a billionaire,
It's
that's
it's
nothing.
really nothing. Like he didn't really support him. But then other stuff popped up where it's like there's footage of him on YouTube at a Trump rally. There's like lots of different shit out there. Like I found out. I don't know if you listen to that show or you've read this or but he went to Long Beach State. Palmer Luckey is one of our peers. He's a little bit younger than us, but he was a journalism major.
Really?
Yeah.
No, okay, the guy's like 24, isn't he?
So
He went to school with us?
he was there when I don't know
When
if
we
you
were
were
there.
there, but he was definitely there when I was. I undoubtedly
Did he
he
drop
dropped out
early,
when
or-
Oculus took
okay.
off, but in 2011 he was there. Like I undoubtedly picked up a copy of the Daily 49er that he contributed to. He was a journalism major. Like I have since read his work. I went on, if you go to Google and type in Palmer Luckey Daily
I'm sure,
49er,
yeah.
you can read some of his content. One of the funnier ones in retrospect is him talking about the iPhone 5 and iPhone 4 actually, and its specifications. But it's like I was like, how did I know this? I was like, I know he lives in Long Beach. I know he's from
In
the
what
area.
way is that funny? Exactly. Like, are you crediting
No,
him,
just
or are you
the fact
knocking
that
on
for
his-
67 weeks I've been talking about VR, a lot about Oculus, and I just didn't know that not only did I go to college with the guy, but we're from the same city, and there's a potential that we could have been neighbors at some point in my life, you know? Like, it's just, it's a funny happenstance that,
Does he still
yeah,
live
he
there?
lives in Long Beach. Like, from what I've read, he, like,
I'm surprised that you haven't tried to
I don't
interview
think
him.
that would be a possibility.
Did you talk shit on him for that one
Oh,
podcast?
yeah, we were totally making fun of him, yeah.
Yeah. Like, more so than you
No,
already have.
it was Greg more than I, but even still,
Okay.
like, come on, you did something stupid, and then you made a really
Yeah.
stupid excuse on Facebook.
What'd
You
he
can
say?
read it. It's basically like a
Or
press
how did he
conference, like
phrase it?
a press release, but he's just like, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have supported them. Matter of fact, I'm not even a Republican. I'm a whatchamacallit. I'm supporting a libertarian. I'm supporting the
Yeah.
other guy, and it was like, yeah, okay, kid.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, as long as you said something like, "Hey, these are my views. Don't have Oculus."
It was
say that. Did you say
it
it
was
along
fucking
those lines?
stupid. Like, it was the biggest cop out I've ever seen. Like he kind of like stopped using Twitter for a little bit and some stuff.
Yeah, that's
It's-
that's a sign.
Yeah,
of a
it was
guilty man.
unfortunate, but then at the same time, it was like, I
It's too
I would
funny.
bet that he lives on the peninsula, like one of the more affluent areas of Long Beach. And if I wanted
Well,
to,
the dude's a billionaire.
yeah, if
right?
I wanted
So-
to, I'm pretty sure I could find his house. Maybe I should just like put something in his letterbox, just be like, little like maybe like a CD of one of our podcasts, be like, you should come on, we can be friends. You probably need friends. But
So we went to the
we
same
went
school.
we went to the same school. Like I said, I don't know when did you come in? Yeah, when
Me?
did you transfer?
2012.
Yeah, so I think he was already gone before you came in.
Mm.
But for like a year or two, I was schoolmates. I mean, it's a big school, you know, it's like 50,000 people. But even still, for a time period there, it's just like funny.
Might have been taking some of the same general.
Yeah,
classes
it's like
you
it's a
went to.
funny. It's funny
Yeah.
how small the world is sometimes.
No, yeah, for real.
It's like I got to stop talking about this guy. It's like I'll see him at the college reunion. But
Wait, no, if he didn't graduate, then no,
Yeah,
you won't.
see him at some kind of like tastemaker event. I'm sure once Oculus like takes off when VR is fully.
Then Long Beach will really try to like cement. Hey, this
Yeah,
guy went
no,
here,
they would definitely do
right?
that. They'd probably get like in the same way there's that Steven Spielberg like sound studio. There'd probably be like a Palmer
The
Luckey
Palmer Luckey
VR
Center,
lab
yeah.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah, but at least Spielberg got a degree at
sort
the
of,
end of
not
it.
really. Like
No,
I
he did.
wanted to
Like
make a
he.
documentary about his Long Beach State like graduation, how that worked.
Why
I
didn't
was
you?
told Blumenthal one day in class was telling me because she was, I don't know if she was, I think she was the film chair during the time of his tenure. And so she was
Hmm.
telling our class just like kind of off the cuff about what happened. And was like telling her, I was taking notes, like I was very interested. I was like, I would love to do something about this, like write a piece or a book or make a documentary or do something. She's like, don't do that. If as a student, don't do that. The CSU system will like sue you. I was like, what? Because like I don't want to talk about it on air. It's not something that I advertise. But let's just say he didn't actually get a degree. It was paper. He didn't earn it.
No, well, yeah, no, I know that. Brian Allen Lane has talked about the thing on similar circumstances. It's not like he actually went to
Yeah, no,
class.
it was more so they
He
had
did. There were ways
his
of doing that,
professors
but
had
I think.
weekly conferences where they went, "Do you think Steven would know this material?" They're like, "Yeah, okay. What will we give him for the week? An A? Yeah, that sounds good. Let's give him an A." And there was I don't know who it was, but one of the professors was kind of hesitant for the system. They're like, "I think he would get a C in this," and everyone else on the board like, "Yeah, it was." I want to write a real thing on this because first off, he submitted Schindler's List as his thesis. I don't care who you are. You can't turn in work over a decade old for your final. That's not okay.
Uh, well, hey, it's.
And that's a dick
It's.
move. Oh, this is the one that I won an Oscar for. Here you go. Now I'm gonna graduate with this movie. It's pretty sad.
I don't know. The whole thing is like, why did he need the degree in the first place?
Just
I don't know.
because.
To
There's a movie about it. You watch
just
Joshua
because.
Ho's movie. Steven Spielberg.
I
Yeah,
did.
it's
It's
pretty good,
good.
right?
It's
Yeah.
good. It was fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
ran into him at Long Beach Comic Con. I got his business card. Um,
Oh yeah. Now
yeah,
how's
he's
he
good.
doing?
I want to get him on the show. He has a new movie called Star Trek Wars.
Yeah, I saw the
Yeah, so that's
Kickstarter for
actually
that.
out now. You can get Blu-rays and stuff, but it's on YouTube for free. He has something like a lot. I think it's like how many is it? I think it's like 300,000 video views or something. Like there's an actual following there, and so I maybe we'll do in the near future. I want to like review his short. Maybe we can review both of them or something. And then
No, there's a bunch of people. There's so many of our people in our class that are working, and I'm just kind of like, what the fuck am I doing?
yeah, we're doing the
God
show.
damn it.
We're
Yeah,
doing
like
this.
we're doing the show, but I'm like when we're not doing this, I'm trying to get out there. Like I spend so much time. Fuck, getting a job
So
is like
hard,
so
especially
hard,
in
man.
that industry.
Yeah.
But
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
was talking to him. I
Like
was like, it'd be fun.
at least I'm writing more.
I don't
There's
know if he'd
that.
be interested in doing this show, but I was telling him, I was like, yeah, we could do like a review for your movie and then get you on and you could, yeah,
Just
do an
do an
interview, just
interview?
like talk. And he was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds good. So maybe I'll reach out to him for that soon.
There's a lot of people. Like I know David
Oh, he's
Guttel's,
very busy.
is working on
Yeah,
quite a
yeah,
few
he's
things.
doing lots of
Yeah.
Western stuff, which is very cool.
Yeah, no. Like I don't know if I think he did the opening scene for the latest one. I don't know if he got the whole thing funded. I donated to the first Kickstarter. And
I
I don't know
know.
if it went through, but I guess they did.
Yeah,
a
I know.
second
I know
round,
which one
and
you're
I don't
talking
know if-
about.
I
It's
didn't hear
like
about it until later, but
fuck. What's the name of that?
what?
Yeah, whose child is this?
or what
Yeah,
child
yeah.
is this? Yeah. Yeah, I was there I was on set for Peace of Mind. I did the behind the scenes audio for that. I think that's my one IMDb credit actually.
I
Yeah.
should be on.
No, but that was
It's
a
like
fun
I
shoot,
should be
though.
on IMDb for my documentary, but then I don't know. I'd feel pretty egotistical submitting my own project to IMDb. I don't think I want to do that. Like, be like, let me create my page, submit this thing for approval, and then put it as my one list.
I don't know. Maybe I should add more stuff that I've done. Like I gotta update a YouTube page with a bunch of my stuff. I guess I could probably put the link even on the website and just I don't know, make a pledge to myself to finally make more stuff. I'm at least writing more. I'm happy
I need to
about
write
that.
more. I really do. I want to. I'll say it on air, so just so I have to stick to it. I want to finish my screenplay by the end of the year, and I think that's totally doable.
Please do. I seriously, like, I've been watching less stuff lately and just writing more, and I might. A friend is trying to get me to join this writers group, which is like, you don't really share stuff. You just all like kind of go to this place and you just work on your thing, and you don't really have to share unless you want to. And it's like, you know what? I might do that. Like anything to get me to keep moving.
I don't know if I could do something like
Like,
that. The concept makes sense. It's just I think I need to just leave the house with my computer. Like maybe not coffee shop because that's super cliche, but
I just go on long walks and then I kind of vent in my own head, and then eventually I start getting inspiration again, and then once I get in that groove, I just get in the chair right away and I keep writing until I fucking can't think anymore, and then I have to go back outside and like decompress until I want to start get going again. I guess it's just how my
I
mind
think I just need to
works.
like go to a park or something with my computer and just start writing. Because when I'm at home, there's far too many distractions outside of just the internet and like movies and video games. There's anything
Yeah.
that could
Like
happen.
I unplug my internet now. Actually, like I seriously only have this device now just so we can.
Yeah, basically me
podcast.
too. Like the
That's
only
my only
reason I
reason
pay
to
my
use it.
internet bill is for podcasting, being able to like stay up on the news that is this show, and then also like doing PlayStation stuff. Yeah,
Video games
but
and stuff,
if it
yeah.
wasn't for the show, I probably wouldn't even pay my charter bill. I would just use my phone. Like I've considered just getting like the most expensive phone plan because that would be cheaper than the $60 I spent on my slow internet to begin with.
You spend
Yeah,
$60.
isn't that stupid?
That
Yeah,
is
so
stupid.
I don't want to. I really just don't want to do it anymore because my phone bill is only a little bit more than that as it is. So I don't know. Moving on.
Wait. So how much do you spend?
My
on your
phone's
phone?
$100 a month, and that's because
Wow,
it's like
dude.
$20 of that is paying off my phone because the way T-Mobile works, you do it's like layaway basically. So I have like 9 more months until my phone's paid off and it's actually mine.
Jeez, I would say how can you afford that? But well, I'm not going to mention your living
No,
situation.
it's just the phone isn't. It's not the phone's not that bad. I mean,
it's a lot to me.
it is a lot of money, but it's
Yeah.
it's a step towards independence. Like I spend that much money on my car every month for sure. Like just between insurance and gas and oil changes and stuff. Like it's the same exact amount of money. And you kind of in this day and age, you kind of do need a phone. And like I said, my phone's 2 years old and it's better than the new iPhone in my opinion. So I wouldn't say it's worth it, but I.
Well, I'm happy with my phone. It's like I don't need data. There's Wi-Fi in so many like public places, and I know where they all are, so I can just check my email there if I need to. I'm happy with.
No, I'm happy with what I got too. It's just
It's enough.
like once my
Yeah.
phone is paid off in the next 9 months or whatever, 8 months, it's gonna drop from 100 to like 75, which is like it's
that's
gonna
good.
drop off big time once I no longer have to actually pay for my phone, like just my service. Yeah, it's gonna be super cheap, and then I just gotta hope that my phone doesn't break.
It's still 75 is still a
It's a good,
shitload of
it's a good
money,
amount of
but-
money.
I mean, I paid like $40 a month, like or no, 30 actually this upcoming month.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This is moving on
moving
to
on,
the
yeah.
tech and VR stuff though. You remember that guy last week that lost the 15 pounds doing HTC Vive? Yeah, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
started a VR studio to make experiences to help other gamers do the same thing. Full disclosure, he has a history of being a personal trainer, so it wasn't like some miraculous thing playing video games made him lose weight. But ATG, or Ass to Grass Studios, aims to create virtual reality experiences that don't feel like workout routines. And so, like, the idea is to champion fitness through virtual reality by lessening the awkward social aspect of training around others at the gym, like comparing your body to theirs, not being able to lift as much as they can. And so, like, just in the same way that, like, the Wii and the Kinect and the PlayStation Move all tried to, at least in some way, just revitalize the home workout, he feels with his studio that there's going to be a much better way of doing that. Matter of fact, I was there's this studio called like Trees to Tress that has this game on HTC Vive called what's it called? Hollow Ball. and it's coming to PSVR very soon. And it's supposed to be like one of the more kinetic experiences you can do, because there's like full on room scale running from side to side. It's kind of like VR Pong. And so I might get that one and review it on Dollar Views. I have a feeling, like, because we go to the theater less and less, that Dollar Views is gonna be it's gonna be a lot of VR stuff in the coming weeks. I'm actually not trying to lead up to or like toot my own horn, but I might be getting a like a press pass, not press pass, but like it's called like a video game press key for a game that I'm really excited about. So that way I can share my opinion without having to actually pay. Like I'd feel like an actual critic. Maybe I even write something for that one. But yeah, Astagrass, I hope that comes to PSVR. I think it's just on Vive right now. It'll probably be hitting Oculus eventually, but we'll see. I have a feeling that VR could, like I said, instead of having to have an actual home gym or a gym membership, just buy yourself the virtual reality headset. Don't feel awkward. You don't have to worry about the way you're doing it. And it would also, with the motion tracking, you wouldn't need a personal trainer. It would know if your posture is good or those kind of things. Wear a smartwatch when you're doing it. It can track your your caloric intake and your biometrics and all that kind of stuff. Like with technology, we're going to be able to do things that we just weren't thinking of prior.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So much. Funny, we were talking about screenplays, and it's like there's like also this sort of ties into. Well, fuck, I don't want to fucking say it, but no, like I agree with that point, and it's like it's still at that point where it's just tough to conceive where things are going. There's so many possibilities, a lot that are fucking cool and that are great, even in the midst of all this fucking dark, horrible shit that's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's good that, like, you know, you can have something good to think about.
It's a lot for me to think about. It's what I scoured the internet for. Like it's really the only news that I really care about anymore. I've told a lot of people this, and what it basically comes down to, and I'm sure I've told you the same thing. I've said it on air. We haven't really had the ability to experience a new medium in our lifetimes, and the fact that this resurgence and the fact that technology has caught up with the interest, every day there's something new. And there's not just in terms of games and experiences. I mean, matter of fact, Fox just teamed with Google to make the new Simpsons Treehouse of Terror this year. The couch gag is going to be a VR experience. Like it also just so happens to be the 600th episode of the show, but this is one of the biggest pop culture staples of the last century, to be honest. And it's embracing VR.
Like, it's almost 30 years, I think.
It's very close to 30 years.
Like, it's older than ours, for sure, yeah, but...
Like, if you count back to...
fuck, I mean, absolutely, like, meanwhile, I'm sitting here with no gyroscope. The best I can do is set up a VR Cinema app and, like, not move my head, but at least have that environment where I can stare at a screen. I can do that.
That's not so bad. That's good enough.
No, yeah, well, it's something. You know, like, I might consider using it if I can. Like, I know I've been able to load some digital copies that I have on it, so it's like it's fine, but I'd rather have a different headset instead of this fucking cardboard because it's so
that's one of the things that I'm more excited about PSVR, not the actual VR experiences themselves, but how the cinematic mode works on that, because it's going to have a similar thing, except out of the box, it's not going to have 3D side-by-side support. That's going to come later down the road. But things like the Within app and certain VR experiences, such as like Baobab's Invasion, are going to be on PSVR, I think, on launch day. But I do want to know, like, in terms of the screen, because the PSVR screen resolution is not as good as my Sony phone, and I want to know, like, you know, I haven't been doing VR a lot because I don't want to get burned out before I actually start using my expensive headset. But I do want to know, like, am I going to be watching things in terms of real life, like live action stuff? Am I going to be watching that more so on my cardboard or on my PSVR? So that's going to be the real thing that I'm going to be reporting on, those kind of things. Because I've already...
Like, have you been watching stuff on your cardboard?
It's been a while since I have.
That you actually review? Or like
it's been quite some time since I reviewed stuff on there. I reached out to Letterboxd a while ago on Twitter. I was like, is there any possibility, or are you guys thinking about bringing VR to your website? And they didn't respond to me. Because I think they're the perfect site to do it too, to just have a way to chronicle what kind of VR stuff you've experienced. Especially now, before it becomes a big thing.
I mean, they don't even have a thing where you can like log in.
Well,
TV
I
or
don't think they
anything
should
to
have
episodes,
TV
so-
because that doesn't really make sense.
or even video games.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm
that's-
just saying, like with VR, it's like that
There's
should be-
other things for that. Like it's
I want to say if there's an IMDb page of it, then yes, it's bound to get
I
on
want
there, but
I have a feeling like
then
VR
again,
does
yeah.
have IMDb pages for certain experiences, or if there isn't, there will be, because video games are on there, porn is on there to an extent, music videos, so they already do lots of different mediums. Like I'm sure VR, if it isn't there already, will be very soon. But like John Wick, they already did VR. They're doing it again, like John Wick Chapter 2, which I'm sure you haven't seen the trailer for and you don't care about.
I don't, but I know a lot of people do, so it's news
Well, that's not what the
anyway.
news item is. What it is that it's getting a VR tie-in game for the HTC Vive called The John Wick Chronicles Eye for an Eye, which has a cool title, to be honest.
And honestly, if anything is fit for VR, I think
Yeah.
John Wick, that makes
But
a lot of sense.
yeah, this follows not only Lionsgate putting their film library on Steam, but also, as I just mentioned, like Starbreeze's Payday 2 has John Wick DLC available. The cool thing here is that if you pre-order this VR game, you get a free copy of the first movie. So that's a perfect incentive. Like, if I had...
And do you get like a free ticket for the
No,
next
I don't
one
think so.
at
This
all?
Steam is strictly
No?
a digital marketplace. Like, this isn't the...
It's not one of those
No.
things where like you
Yeah,
get
no,
that
it's
coupon
not
with
the
it to get
buy
a
the
ticket
movie.
or
Like,
anything.
it would be a little bit too much if you got a digital copy of the first movie, a game, and a ticket to the second movie. Like,
Okay, maybe a discount.
maybe a
though, or
discount.
something.
We'll
Who
see.
knows?
I don't know. Like, but if I had a Vive, or if I had a gaming rig, I would definitely get this just for the copy, because John Wick. I think I like Jack Reacher more than John Wick. Yeah, I
Really?
think so.
I mean,
I think because Jack Reacher has a mystery,
I
and Werner Herzog's a villain.
You know what? I like the car chase in Jack Reacher. But I think John Wick at least has a. I mean, granted, I'm not that big of a fan of either one, even though. Well, Jack Reacher had the cooler villain, but I think John Wick had the better.
John Wick had the
character.
better world.
Maybe it's because that fucking.
It's probably the
I don't
dog,
know.
but it's
Honestly, like just the way that John Wick, I think, is set up is
it's the
way
world. It's
better.
the way that the whole industry works, and the hotel, and the money, and the clothes, and all that shit.
It's that revenge story. It's just that one line
I'm
that
back.
sums up John
Yeah.
Wick.
Yeah, you could say I'm back.
No. For me, it's the one that when they have the call and it's like, you know, John Wick
The
is
boogeyman.
going after your son. Why? Well, yeah. Well, he killed his dog. Oh. And then just hangs up. That says everything that
Well,
you need to know
this-
at that moment. It's
This
so
might
fucking
sell
brilliant.
you. Not that you need to be sold, because you're not going to see it anyway. But Lawrence Fishburne is in
Mm-hmm.
John Wick 2. So
As
who the fuck cares?
the bad guy?
no, the bad guy's Common.
I-
But
Okay.
they're reteaming. Morpheus and Neo are back together, man.
You know what? Maybe on Amazon.
I'm
watch it. I
going
don't
to
know. We'll
theaters.
see.
I really hope that they do like a double feature somewhere, because I would love to see the first one on the big screen.
They'll have them.
I
back
hope
to
so,
back, I'm sure.
'cause I-
like they will.
That's
here,
one of the
for
bigger
sure.
regrets I had when everyone was going gaga for that film, and I was like, yeah, I'll fucking wait. And then when I saw it, I was like, fuck, I messed up.
Yeah, granted, I did see John Wick on one of the shittiest days of my life ever, so that might be
Yeah,
my
someone
bias
killed your
there,
dog.
is that I was bound to shit on it. I don't know, maybe I might enjoy it more now, but no, like nothing but bad connotations there, I guess, for me.
Well, that's the show.
Hopefully, the
I
second
hope
one's
it's
cool.
really great. But that's the show. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope it's been a pleasure. You can reach us all over the internet, like I said. Before I get there, where can they reach you, Steve? You already gave out your Twitter again. I guess you could do it once more.
Well, yeah, it's S_MTX. There's Steve at dollarreviews.net. I check the email at least before every show when we're going to record. So if you're listening to this, then you can email me and say, hey, what's up? I listened to the show last week, and it was cool, and good luck tonight. And then I will give you a shout out
Send
on
them
the
some
next
dirty
one.
pictures. That'd be cool.
Or
Especially if you're dudes.
please don't. I mean, especially not if we're listening, like, if we have a teenage girl audience, that's even more
That'd be
creepier,
interesting. I'd
honestly.
love to know.
That would be
Like,
scary. No, I
imagine
would
if
be
the age
very-
demographics were revealed somehow, and it was like they're all 12-year-old girls.
Honestly, I think there's a part of me that would freak out. Like, even if I got nude pics from girls, I would worry
Oh yeah,
right away of like
yeah,
what
because
age they
that'd
are.
be very
Like
scandalous.
I could not at all. Like, I would not find that
It's like
attractive
because
at all.
someone kind of illuminated me to this the other day because they listened to my show and they're like, I was like, oh, are you bored yet? And they're like, no, I actually really like the sound of your voice. And I was thinking about it, and the way romance works now,
Jeez.
correspondence isn't done vocally outside of like in person. So I could see like a younger subset of our audience being, these like prepubescent girls or like early teen girls who don't have people in their lives that communicate with them like orally.
Well, it's like this has been going on even on for shows unlike us. Like on podcasts that I've been listening to when I was in high school, I would hear them talking about shit like this on their email segments.
I could see it.
So it's not unheard of, and like especially with kids now that are growing up with the internet, where it's like social media, like all that, like that's their thing. That fuck, it's scary.
It's a little scary. Good.
Yeah.
I
It's like,
got
yeah,
no.
You gotta be careful. Please don't. So please don't.
I mean,
send
there's
that
nothing
stuff.
scary to report for me. The only emails I've gotten are actually business related, like that review key I was talking about earlier, or like I use the website. I mean, I use the email for things that I want to look business related to, like my Long Beach Comic Con press pass. But yeah, sad to say, despite us
Hey.
having one Patreon backer, I do not have any fan letters yet. So please do that.
So we do.
We do have one
backer.
backer. We have $10 as of now. Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Sweet,
sweet. And that's per
Yeah,
month.
I
Do you
yeah,
know
I
who
talked
they
to him
are?
on the phone earlier today. It's a close friend. He was like, "Oh, I thought that was a one-time thing. I might have to cancel that." I was like, "Yeah, fuck you too." No,
it
it's not
Hyro?
Hyro. I could see Hyro. He just bought a new car, so he must have a lot of money. Maybe he could support us. I don't know. I'll send him a message. I'll be like, "Hey, Hyro, just a dollar.
Maybe.
Just give us a dollar."
Thank you. I mean, I don't know if your friend is listening, if they do listen, but yeah, thank you anyway.
But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Like I said, Facebook, Twitter, WordPress, Tumblr, Google Plus, basically anything. Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. Until next week, have a good one. Keep the change.
See you next time.